My name is Angela Fairless. Just so you know, he was like a brother to me. Just so you get the relation. Our world is full of trauma. It's hard to get by in this world without experiencing any. We try to define trauma in these divisive terms, psychological, mental, emotional, but we know that trauma of all kinds affects the mind, body, and soul in an infinite and complex amount of ways. Rich was like my brother, and he and I shared many, many similarities, both in our strengths and our weaknesses. Being young people who experienced a great deal of trauma is one of the things that he and I shared. And having our 5th grade year be very pivotal in our life is another that we shared. Our 5th grade teacher was Nancy Hauger. She's here today. And not that long ago, Rich and I sat on my couch at home talking about Mrs. Hauger as I was preparing a speech to give at the Seaside School District Board meeting. He and I shared one thing in common in our opinion of her, and that is that she is literally the one and only person in the entire school district in our young years who had such an unconditional love for us as children that we remembered them into our adulthood. The children who suffer trauma are most often the ones who act out, and we respond with the questions, what's wrong with this child, and take this medicine and sit and be quiet. Never what happened to this child to make them be this way, and what can we do to help? In the week before the fight, Dennis Mayer said to me something that I find oh so true of all my warrior brothers. He said that warriors are most often at war with themselves. And I find this to be oh so true, and I see the mental anguish that all of my warrior brothers feel and suffer, and my heart breaks for all of you. I understand that anger and frustration, judgment and confusion, pain and emptiness, and just an overwhelming amount of disbelief. These are all the natural things that we are bombarded with when something traumatic happens. Rich helped me learn to process these things much faster than most people. I know a lot of you probably have a lot of anger and frustration and pain. For me, my mountain will be guilt. Rich valued my friendship because I'm the kind of friend that tells people not what they want to hear, but what they need to hear. In his life, Rich showed me how to live fully to the max. He lived the richest of lives, right? One of the things that we spoke about, Jake's father. I know everyone's thinking about Jake right now. Rich and I spoke so deeply about Jake, his life, his death, his funeral. We spoke about suicide at great lengths for many years, and I am very sorry. Emmy, I'm sorry for not being able to help you. You have a lot of judgment being the kind of person that say Rich or Jake is kind of liberty-loving, free spirit, loud. In spite of the judgment and the trauma and the suffering, like Christ, Jake and Rich practice agape love that is unconditional, non-judgmental, the highest form of love. That is the kind of love that Rich and Jake practiced in their daily lives, and that is why you have a house full of people, because they are the kind of people who affect people so deeply. There are people here whom I never even met Rich, but he affected the lives of perfect strangers because he had that much positive energy in him. I never met his mother till he died, but let me tell you, she affected my life positively for years. And Emmy, he didn't bring her to meet me until they'd already had a son and had been married. It was like he was afraid I wouldn't approve of something. But yeah, Emmy, let me tell you, the day that I was really proud of Rich the night of the fight. And it took a lot for him to talk me into going to that. But the day that I met you and Loki is the day that I was most proud of him, and like my heart was put at ease. You are so strong and beautiful. I know that you will be fine, and you have a heavy, heavy load with your son. But you have a very loving family. Serpa, you are so beautiful and strong and wise. Thank you for what you've given me. I don't want to take too much time. I'm just going to really quick say Bob Poole and Linda Poole, amazing, amazing people who, again, I didn't really meet you until this, but I just want to say thank you for the positive effect you had on his life, because he then allowed it to have a positive effect on my life and my family. And so I just will sum it up by this, the anger, the frustration, the confusion, just process past those and find a way to get to peace and love and joy and back to life. That is exactly what Rich would have wanted you to do. And if this is weird, I'm really sorry, but Richard, I'm just not going to let your positive energy fade into the darkness. And Emmy, I love you.